Hey you guys, I'm Stacy and this is Gorgeously Aging. Thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, today I'm testing a whole bunch of new makeup, some of it high-end, some of it drugstore, and we're going to focus on these products here today. We have the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream. This is in SPF 30, and we're going to put that up against the MAC Studio Radiance. This is the Serum Powdered Foundation. So we're going to test these out. I have it on now, but I'm going to talk more about it in this video. I also have a whole bunch of other new goodies, including some new things from e.l.f. and MAC and Laura Mercier. So if you're interested in what I have here and all the new stuff we're going to try, keep on watching. Welcome friends. If you are brand new here, a special welcome. I do hope you'll subscribe and join the Gorgeously Aging community. And if you've been with me for a while, sending you all virtual hugs. If you are just finding me for the first time, I am a 52-year-old master and medical esthetician, passionate about all things skincare and beauty, and aging gorgeously from the inside out. So let's get into this makeup look today, you guys. I started out with my skincare routine, and I am using the Color Science Flex sunscreen, which lately has been my go-to. It is an absolutely beautiful sunscreen if you want good skin protection and also just a slight bit of tint to the skin without a heavy foundation. This is kind of my daily go-to when I don't wear makeup, is using this sunscreen and no other makeup. But today we are going to do a slightly more glam look, using both high-end and drugstore makeup. So I am super curious about the new e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Cream. I haven't even tried this yet, so I am trying it for the very first time on camera. All of these things I have purchased myself, and they will be listed in the description box below. When you purchase from my links, you help support this channel, and I cannot thank you enough. So let's just check out the consistency of this one. I'm just gonna do one pump here. Now, if you ever have a makeup product, a foundation, and it feels and goes on a little too heavy for your liking, add a little bit of your facial lotion to it to sheer it out just a little bit. Sometimes on mature skin, that will make all the difference in how it looks and performs on the skin. Picking out a good color is always like my hardest thing. When you're in the stores, I swear the lighting is terrible for picking out a color, and it's even worse online. This one doesn't look too bad. I think I did okay on this one. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 109 brush and just put a light coating on this side of the face because I'm going to be trying a different foundation on the other side of the face. Now, just a little tip, if you're going to be using a little bit of concealer, don't take your foundation too far up under your eye. Otherwise, you get too many layers of makeup, and that's when it starts to look really creasy and really emphasize those fine lines and wrinkles. When you get a new foundation, try it just out of the bottle as it is, and then next time try it with a little lotion. Sometimes it really does make all the difference. Younger skin is way more forgiving than older skin, so sometimes we just have to do these little hacks to make it work. So my very first impression is this is pretty full coverage. It does feel hydrating. It has a little bit of luminosity. It feels really moisturizing on the skin. So far I like it. I don't think it emphasizes texture. And I do think this is one that would work really well with just a little bit of lotion if you don't like how full the coverage is. Now on this side of the face, I'm going to try the MAC Studio Radiance. And this one is said to be a serum powdered foundation, and it's an NC 17. I'm just going to wipe off the back of my hand here so we don't get the two foundations mixed together. I'll list all the colors of the stuff I'm using in the description. Sometimes it's hard for me to see now that I'm over 50. I don't have my reading glasses with me. So this one has a little more fluid texture, which I like on mature skin. The other one was a slight bit thicker texture, this e.l.f. CC cream. So let's see how this one goes on. I'm gonna wipe off my brush here. Okay, I like the color of this one. It's a little bit lighter than the other foundation, but we'll make it work once we put other makeup on. I really do like these BK Beauty brushes. I bought this one myself. Almost everything I buy myself. I want to give you guys a very honest review. I don't ever want to be paid or feel obligated to give you like a positive review. I want to give you honest reviews. So I'm very selective about what PR I take, if any. So this is also a nice hydrating foundation. This one actually seems a little more pore minimizing. I feel like this one isn't as pore minimizing. It's still a beautiful option. I don't know if you guys can pick that up on camera. So now I'm going to move on to the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. And this one isn't new to the market, but it's new to me. If I have used it, I've totally forgotten about it. It's possible because I have hundreds of concealers, but I'm pretty sure the serum concealer that I've used that's in a tube like this is the L'Oreal serum concealer. So I picked this up and I'm just going to use a tiny bit of this. I did play with this already, but here's what it looks like out of the tube. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of this and under the eye and a little bit lower just to brighten that under eye area. And I like to get a little in the corners here. And I'm going to use this BK Beauty brush here. Now the lashes I have on today are my brand. These are the Gorgeously You Luxe Lash. These are a DIY lash extension. If you are into lash extensions and you want to save some money doing them at home, definitely check these out. They are affordable and really easy to use. Now, I really like a serum concealer on mature skin. I feel like it has enough moisture and hydration that it doesn't dry down looking too dry under the aging under eye or any under eye. In fact, my daughter Bella, who's 21, asked for this concealer for Christmas and she absolutely loves it. On a more natural looking finish, without looking like you have heavy makeup on, this is a beautiful concealer. It does have a little bit extra pigment, so it covers well without being too full coverage. Now this is not new to me, but I'm going to show you guys this Super Stay. This is a powder foundation. This is by Maybelline, and I don't like powdered foundations on my dry mature skin, but I like using this as a light finishing powder. You can see I've already hit pan on this, so I absolutely use it and love it. And for a drugstore option, this is really good. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, again by BK Beauty. I've been using these all the time lately, and very lightly just give this foundation a little set. I like to focus on the T-zone, the areas that the makeup kind of breaks up a little bit more. And really just a few dabs into this. And then I'm going to go in with a smaller fluffy brush for under the eyes. This is a Morphe brush. And this one loses its hair. See, that's why I like the BK Beauty brushes. I'm mad that I used that brush. Let me go back to my BK Beauty brushes. Okay, well that'll be the last time I'm using that Morphe brush. I'm going to go back in with a few dabs of the BK Beauty brush into this and just very lightly set the under eyes. I don't like to use too much powder under the eyes. Now let's go in with this cream contour. You can do this either before you set everything down or after. I've been finding for me, it stays on a little bit better if I do it after a very light set. I'm going to take my BK 109 brush. And this is an Essence product. Let me show you guys this. It's a really great tone, that cool tone for a contour. So a warm tone is more of a bronzer. A cool tone is great for sculpting the face. So I'm just going to go underneath my cheekbones. This gives a little lift and definition. You could certainly apply this with your fingers or right from the tube. Lately I've been doing it with a brush. You can see I still have a little bit of those hairs from that Morphe brush. It's so frustrating when that happens. And I'm going to just go a little under the chin for a little jawline sculpting and just a bit around the hairline. I really like the tone of this. It's such a nice little travel-friendly package. This is the Baby Got Bronze by Essence. And Essence, they make really good formulas and they're very affordable. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. This is the shade Promenade. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit on the back of my hand like that. This is a beautiful color. I have used this a few times. Some of these products, it's the first time I'm using. And I'm just going to put a little blush here. Now this one's nice because it's not overly pigmented. It has just a beautiful flush of color. You could layer it up if you want a little heavier blush. Now something that I got here, you guys, is this MAC Studio Fix. This is the Everyday All Over Face pen. And I got this in a darker color to be a bronzer. This twists on and off for open and closed. And I'm just gonna give a little pump here. That's probably way more than I need. So I'm just gonna use a tiny bit of this, just a tiny bit, for a warm bronzer on the skin. Yeah, that's pretty. You can also shear this out with lotion and then it lasts a super long time in terms of you need just a dot of this to add bronzer to your face. It just looks a little more sun-kissed. And then I'm just gonna press that Yeah, you hardly need any of that product to bronze the face, which I really like. So it's a pretty pigmented product. This would be great as a concealer and a color for under the eyes if you like a more pigmented, high coverage type of, or full coverage type of concealer. I like to get concealers for bronzers, and this one I think is a super good option. A tiny bit goes a long way, and if you want it to be more sheer, add a little lotion. Okay, we need to do something with these eyebrows. So I have a couple different options we're going to test out. We have the Revolution eyebrow pencil, and we have the newish e.l.f. waterproof brow pencil. I've always really liked the e.l.f. brow products. I think they have a really nice creamy formula. If this truly is waterproof, that's nice because it hopefully won't smudge off during the day. This one has a nice color. It is, let me see if I can find the color on here, neutral brown. And it does have the spoolie on the other end, so you can brush up those brow hairs if you have brow hairs, if you're lucky enough. I just have those few little puny brow hairs. And then I like the Revolution in that it's really a tiny, tiny micro pencil. Has such a fine tip. So if you do like to do really fine hair strokes, you have that option. So let me do that now, and then you can tell me in the comments which side you like better. This is more of kind of the smudged out look. And then this one I'm going to do more of the hair strokes because it has such a nice fine tip. So in the front of the brow, go upwards. Or at least that's what I do all my years of doing permanent cosmetics. And then as we get towards the arch, you start going more sideways at an angle. And then coming kind of down. This one seems a little darker. I do like the texture of it. This one's in the shade dark brown. It does have a spoolie end. So which of these two brows do you like better? I actually really think this is a nice pencil. I like a really fine tip, but I can appreciate how quick and easy the e.l.f. pencil is. And once we let it dry down, I'm going to kind of smudge it with my finger a little and see how waterproof it is. All right, let's test out this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I don't always use an eye primer for my eyeshadow, but when I do, I always like how the eyeshadow looks, and I feel like it stays on and it's a little more vibrant. All right, I picked up this MAC palette. Now let's just appreciate how pretty the front of the package is. They've done a really nice job on this design, in my opinion. It's a really nice, high quality case. I remember I went through a period of really loving MAC, and then I went years not using MAC, and now I'm kind of back to loving MAC again. I'm going to start out with this color here just to lay down a base. And again, I'm using a BK Beauty brush. This one is the 212, and I'll list the set that I bought and the individual brushes that I use. I always feel like you get a better value when you buy the whole set rather than just buy them one at a time. Then I'm going to go into this color here, same brush, and just above the crease I do have hooded eyes. So if you have hooded eyes, stay above where the eye creases or folds. This will provide a little lift. These are really nice and pigmented, and they do blend out pretty well. So stick with me to the end of this video. I'll let you guys know how I feel about the base after it's been on just a little while. Just looking at the two eyebrows, I'm kind of leaning towards this one. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. This is the BK Beauty 209. I usually would use a flat brush for this, but I'm going to see how this one works. Here is this color swatched. It has a slight bit of shimmer, and I'm just going to put that like right in the center and then move towards the inner part of the eye. Nothing too crazy here. I'm going to go in with this pencil brush. This is the 210 by BK Beauty, and go back to this shade here, just a light dip because these are very pigmented. And I'm just going to go under that lower lash line in the outer corner to create some depth and dimension. And then the same thing, I'm going to bring this up almost like a fake little wing. We're going to blend that in just to create a little more shape. We're just building depth. We're going to blend that here in just a second. Then I'm going to take this really deep, rich color and just pop my little brush in there once. And let's bring that in a little farther. And we're going to go back to that fluffy brush. Again, this one is the, what is this one? 212. And just blend the edges here, pulling this up towards the tail of the brow. Then I'm going to go into this with a small angled brush and just give a little bit more dimension on that outer lash line. And then I'm going to go on the upper lash line with the same color and this angled brush. And just give a little bit more of a soft wing there. Doing a wing with an eyeshadow is one of the most forgiving ways to add a little lift to the eye, especially if you're over 40. All right, I'm going to take a clean pencil brush here and go into this light bone color, right in that inner corner just a bit, and just under the arch of the brow. I need to do a little tweezing. I can tell I have little baby hairs that are making things look a little unkempt. I'm going to take the Stila Stay All Day. This is such a great waterproof pencil. And just do my lash line, my waterline. This is optional, but I think it makes a nice difference. I'm going to use the Hourglass Unlocked just to hit my bottom lashes just a little bit. I love this mascara. I don't think it gets enough attention. The brush is perfect for separation and lift. And I'm just going to get the powder off my lash extensions. You guys, I always feel a little unfinished unless I put a little brow gel on. Now, I don't have much for brow hairs, but this will pick up the tiny little hairs and amplify them. This is the NYX Thick It, Stick It. NYX does have some really nice brow pigments in terms of like a brow gel. This one just has some fibers in it, so it'll make those little hairs a little thicker. I like to go against the hairs very lightly and then go the other way. And just like mascara, a couple of coats is usually good. I have been obsessed with this Makeup by Mario lip product since I got it. Let me just show you. It's, for me, it's like the perfect color. So I'm going to use the lip liner. This is the Ultra Suede Sculpting Lip Pencil. And this is the color Toasty. I can actually see that without my glasses. I think as we're aging, lip liner becomes even more important if you really want to emphasize the shape of your lips. Unfortunately, as we age, you know, that definition in our lips, because we lose volume, we also lose definition. So one way to treat that, of course, is a little bit of subtle lip filler. If you like advanced facial rejuvenation, head over to my website, gorgeouslyaging.com. As a medical esthetician, I teach a lot of DIY. And there may be some things there that not only help you, but save you a ton of money. I like to bring the lip liner up into the body of the lip so that as the lip product wears off through eating and drinking throughout the day, you still have layers of pigment so your lips stay looking nice throughout the day. I feel like this color is like a My Lips But Better color, which I really enjoy. So I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario, and this is the color Barely Pink. And has a little doe foot applicator. Let me swatch it for you. That's the swatch. I just love this. You guys probably know, if you've been with me for a while, that I'm a little bit more on the neutral side of things. There are times I like a little bit more color in my lipstick, but I tend to veer more towards nudes with a little bit of pink. Now, this doesn't feel sticky. It does dry down a little bit, but doesn't look dry on the lips. I'm just going to blot just a little bit. I don't like to have excess amounts of lipstick on. Now, a couple other products I want to show you that I really love and they're so cost effective are these e.l.f. lip oils. Let me show you these two. This one is gorgeous. It is, I can't see the color in this. I'll list it down below. But it is just a sheer with a tiny hint of pigment. Almost like a mauve. These are so nice on the lips and nourishing. This one looks orange in the bottle, but it really goes on clear. And this reminds me a lot of the Clarins lip oil, which is much more expensive. I definitely think e.l.f. did a really good job with these, and lip oils are so nice. I find myself putting them on even before bed. Great to keep in your purse and put on throughout the day to keep the lips hydrated. I'm going to fix my hair and I will be right back. So here's the finished look, you guys. Let me know which products you've tried at home that I've used today, or which you are interested in trying. Now, I do like both of these foundations. I used the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating CC Full Coverage Long Lasting Dewy Finish. This does have an SPF of 30, which is nice. This is a little thicker consistency. and a little bit heavier on the skin. Having said that, I think it's a really hydrating, beautiful foundation for mature skin. And if you don't like a thicker consistency, add a little bit of lotion to it to make it a little bit more mature skin friendly. The MAC Studio Radiance, I think this is beautiful. I love the fluid consistency. I like the finish, and I do think this one blurs pores just a little bit better. Definitely pros and cons to both. I love that this has an SPF 30. This one's a little bit more expensive, so definitely consider that when making your decision. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get really good makeup, so if you're looking for budget-friendly options, this is a really good one. I have to say I'm really impressed with this MAC palette. Like I mentioned, I had gotten away from MAC for quite a little while, and I'm glad I'm kind of getting back into it and trying out some of their new offerings. I think they're doing a really great job, not only with formula, but also with packaging. Eyeshadows, I do think, are one of the areas that I tend to lean towards some of my higher priced palettes. I just feel like the formulation in many of those is richer, more blendable. It just lends itself to a more long-lasting look. So I do tend to reach towards some of my higher priced palettes. Having said that, there are some really great eyeshadows in the drugstore. Of everything I used today, I would have to say this Makeup by Mario lip product is my favorite. It is so pretty. You guys, I already swatched this once, but just let me show you again. You can see it on my lips. It's a beautiful color. It feels great on the lips. It's hydrating. I mean, I absolutely love it. If you haven't tried the NYX Serum Concealer, I think this is really great for mature skin, for anybody really. I think in years past, one of the problems with concealers is that there was such a push towards super high coverage. And with super high coverage comes that dry effect under the eyes, where someone really young with very youthful under eyes can support a really super full coverage under eye concealer. As we age, that isn't the most flattering look. So I like that brands are getting more towards hydrating, more serum formulas that are more friendly on the aging under eye. This Milk Primer for eyeshadows, I've used better. I actually think the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer is a better option. This one's not bad, and I do think if you like your eyeshadow to stay, if you have a special occasion, if you want it to really look vibrant, definitely try an eyeshadow primer. It does make a pretty significant difference. I tend to be lazy sometimes day to day and not use it, and when I do take that extra few seconds, throughout the day I always notice my eyeshadow does look better. I do think this Laura Mercier blush is beautiful. It is a little more sheer on the watercolor type formula. So if you like a really heavily pigmented, more opaque type of blush, this one might be a little too light for you. But if you like a wash of color that's a little bit more of that watercolor look, I think you'll really love this one. And of course, these e.l.f. lip oils, so budget friendly and so good. Thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with me. You guys, if you like this video, do me a huge favor and give it a thumbs up. And also comment, that helps the algorithm. If you have any questions about my makeup today, I'd be happy to answer them, and share with me some of your favorite finds in the last month or so. I'm always on the hunt for some new products to share on my channel. Thanks again for joining me. Be good to yourselves and to others. I will see you in my next video.